Today's episode is all about money mindset. I'm going to have a different conversation to most because we're exploring the paradox between making money mean everything and nothing, and why this is key to unimaginable wealth. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Bliss Movement, a podcast for big-hearted, driven women daring to be great who know that this starts by pouring love into themselves first. I'm Dr. Fee. I'm passionate about helping women to stop tuning out and burning out, but to tune within, reconnect with your heart, feel lit up, follow your bliss, and live life on your terms. So, get ready to expand your life beyond what you thought was possible when it comes to healing, wealth, love, purpose, and leadership. Hello, gorgeous. I'm so thrilled you're here, and I'm so excited because this is my first money mindset episode, and it's the first of many to come because I'm so passionate about normalizing big money in the hands of big-hearted women because I really believe this is what the world needs. It's essential to shifting the trajectory that we're on, where humanity's heading, and also to bring a hell of a lot of goodness to the world. And so I'm so grateful that we get to share this conversation together. And it's also a celebration. This is an example of the awesomeness that happens when we make that commitment to live a soul-aligned life. Because many years ago, I first had this inkling in my heart of like, wouldn't it be amazing to share my wealth wisdom with the world and support women with their money mindset, heart set, soul set, and really get out of lack and scarcity and open themselves up to greater levels of abundance and freedom. Oh my gosh. And if you had told me then that this is actually what I'd be doing right now, I'd just be like, oh my gosh, that's wild. And that is, there's so much fun and adventure, like there's magnificence when you actually, you become so devoted to yourself, your dream, and authentically aligning with what is real and true to you. You get taken on this most incredible adventure. And so, money mindset. We're going to have a little different conversation to most because I really want to talk about this paradox that happens when we make money mean everything and nothing, and how this is the key to unimaginable wealth. And by wealth, I mean wealth out there, but that feels so good on the inside. That's wealth. And for me, like I'm a work in art. I can tell you, like I spend my energy and time focusing on my money mindset because, growing up on a farm where we did a lot of hard work and effort and we would just see it in an instant, our crop was just flooded, like wiped out, like a loss of our whole annual income just there, gone. In fact, we're worse off, we're in more debt because of all the investment in terms of, getting it to where it was. And, fortunately, I was able, because of Austudy and because of HEX, growing up in Australia, we're so lucky, like I'm so abundant because of that. And when I moved out of home when I was 16, I was able to put myself through year 12. And then I was able to go on and study science initially. And then I transferred into medicine in Melbourne. And, oh my gosh, so lucky for that. And then going from that experience of living on next to nothing as a medical student to in my first year as a junior doctor, I earned something like 60K as a base salary. Holy my gosh, all of a sudden money coming to me. And then just noticing it just amplified so much. And we're going to talk about this more in today's episode, but it's like, oh my gosh, I felt like I was terrible and hopeless with money. The more money I earned, it just went out and I was never saving. I'm never ever going to have a home. And I was just so much suffering, so much lack. I never felt like I was enough, had enough, did enough, because obviously my conditioning was like money comes from hard work and effort until it kind of just gets taken away from you, or you get pipped at the finishing line. It's like it's all there, but then boom, you lose it. Something unexpected comes in. And this was really strong within me. And so it's been this real journey of like hitting these ceilings and then, oh my gosh, recognizing that I'm self-sacrificing, sabotaging and limiting wealth. And, the work is mindset heart set and soul set work. And I'm so passionate about transforming how we see money in general, because regardless of whether you're religious or not, our culture, our society has some really sort of, coming from the right place, I'm sure, but there's some really unhealthy and funky, gnarly messaging about money as being evil and, the curse of man. And like, gosh, if you're wealthy, then you're power hungry and you're unkind. And look, if I just turned on Netflix right now and looked at some of the movies, I mean, the wealthy person's always, is portrayed as the unkind or the one who's out to get, to do no good. And so, it's been there. And here's what I've discovered is that actually money is neutral until we give it meaning. And if you just got out a piece of paper and a pen, I'm going to invite you to do this actually. Because when I first did this, I was just like, oh my gosh, look at the mess here in my head. This is what's running the show. Based on neuroscience, how we think and feel about something, it does influence our decisions. It does influence the actions we take and also how we experience reality. So if we have unhelpful thoughts about money, but in turn we feel deeply unsafe, insecure, or unsuccessful, then or we beat ourselves up because of money, then it is going to shape our decisions and we're going to miss opportunities and we're going to stay stuck spiraling into lack and scarcity. So this is a really important exercise. Just do a brain dump. What do I think about money? And what will happen is, because your brain will then start to support your exercise, and throughout the day you'll just have an awareness of like, oh my gosh, I feel panic when I go to pay for the groceries, or I double check my bank app like 50 times a day, or oh my God, I didn't realize how much I say to my kids, I can't afford that, we can't afford that. And for me, it was just like, when I first did this, it was like, oh my gosh, it was like all against me. All these negative thoughts, like I don't have enough. If I do, I'm going to lose it. I'm not responsible. I'm not worthy. Like just all these different themes. And of course, that creates, it becomes prophecy. And I was so terrified that when I earned money that I would lose it. And of course, like I've had to navigate that too. And so it's so rich when you see that money is this beautiful classroom. It is an spiritual experience where we get to learn. It brings us back to the truth of who we are. That's what I mean. It is spiritual. In fact, I'm so passionate about this. In May, I'm running a class called Money is Spiritual as Fuck, because it really is. Money is spiritual. And when we can shift it and see it for what it is, then what happens is that, oh my God, we're liberated and we can sense this, have incredible freedom from it, because, you might have all these different avenues of money in your life, your job, partner, family, your home, like these are different avenues where money can come to you. But actually, it's really based on neuroscience, psychology, and metaphysical trainings and teachings. Your relationship to money is what determines whether money flows to you through those avenues. And this is just like, when this landed for me, I was like, this is turning my world upside down, because I'm so conditioned to thinking that hard work and effort will make money, is the source of money. My job's the source of my money. This is the source of my money. That is the source of my money. But it's not. We are. It's a deeply personal, intimate relationship with something bigger within us, a greater truth and power. What I would call Amma or God, like infinite intelligence, quantum field, that is limitless possibility and wealth. And, like I truly believe we have the opportunity to open to that, but it requires us going within. It requires us doing the work, okay, which is why I'm so passionate about doing the work. So money, based on how we see it, the meaning we give it, can be something that fuels our dreams and supports us and our family and helps to really nurture and nourish our lives, or it can be something that creates a whole lot of struggle and anxiety and stress. And here's what's really, really tricky, the human flaw, is that when we're in a state of survival and burnout, physiologically, we are wired to only see threats, focus on worst case scenarios. Our solution focused centers, our creative thinking, our ability to think outside the square, see new opportunities, even tap into a realm or a possibility where we are wealthy, is shut down. And, you might think, okay, and so this is the problem when you try and do affirmations, like wealth affirmations, they might work or they may not. Hopefully they do. But if you find like, oh my God, I'm just getting nowhere, it's because of the dysregulation. It's because of the sympathetic nervous system. We got to go there, emotional regulation, and really go at the core of feeling safe and secure in order to then shift your focus, because until then, physiologically, it's against you. Okay. And so for a lot of people who are just like, Fee, you don't get me. And oh my God, and they can project, people can project when it comes to money and be like, oh, you're talking about money, you're greedy. And I've recently had this, which I'm going to share in another episode soon. It's like, well, it makes sense. And it's not personal when you know, when we give ourselves permission, and this is actually what is required to authentically align with what is real and true to us. And if that is that you have greater levels of success and wealth because you want that for you and for your family and to do great things in the world, I think like that is amazing. That's Dharma. That is doing good. That's a path of righteousness. Like that is fantastic. That's your duty. Let's do that. And you will inevitably, people won't like that because, it's just the human tendency. We want to bring other people down. And I've done it myself. Like it all depends on what we value in life and also our relationship to pain and discomfort. If we can't hold a space for ourselves, if we can't give ourselves compassion or love, and we're constantly judging and criticizing ourselves, then we're going to do that to other people too. So like I said, it's not personal. And it does relate to what we value. Like I'm still in this classroom, the other day I was looking at Facebook and I came across this reel, and it was this beautiful woman who's Singaporean, and I think she's from Singapore, and she was celebrating, like she had 3 big, beautiful gowns. Like they were just princess gowns, like, like just like, so some people would love it. And she was just over the top, like, oh my gosh, but 3 gowns for her graduation. No, I don't value that. Doesn't make it wrong. She values it. A lot of people value it. What I value is different to others. Like I value really nurturing, luxurious, gorgeous holidays. I also value hanging out in a tent and going backpacking with my boys too. Like Jarvis is now 11, Remy is now 7, and we can put a backpack on and go for overnight hikes. Simplistic, amazing. But I also love having the freedom of going on an adventure, traveling to India and going to Bali and, staying at Niramaya Resort up in Port Douglas. Just a shout out. It's a fantastic, beautiful place. And so we all value different things, and we just get to understand that when it comes to money and what that means based on our values and what's important to us, we're going to have lots of different people are going to have lots of different opinions. And again, commit to authentically aligning with what is real and true to you. It's your life. And it's so important because what is good for you is good for your family, is good for me, is good for the world. And I want you to understand that it's really something that can support you. And one of the biggest barriers that I see my clients coming up against, and this is again proven by science and psychology, it's based on neuroscience, it's proven by psychology as well as a metaphysical teaching, is that if we don't give ourselves permission to stretch into a possibility where we have more wealth and more money, it's next to none chance that we're going to obtain it. So a lot of the time I'm writing permission slips for my clients, and I love that. Just the other week, one of my favorite people, someone who I just love, one of my clients, she has come. She's feeling so inspired about this next chapter in her life. Like she can see that there is a gap between government agency and, what's available and the oncology systems and services and patients. And she can see the gap because she's recently been engaged in oncology in Australia, supporting family and friends. And it's like, oh my gosh. And it makes sense for her. Like you look at her credentials, knowledge, experience, and it's like, oh my God, this is so exciting. And she's passionate. I'm like lit up for her. And it's like, obviously a lot of this work will require her to do it without pay. And this is something that big-hearted, ambitious women can run into. It's like, and my job is actually giving you permission to be like, okay, for a period, but actually, sweetheart, here's the truth. You cannot give what you don't have. And you certainly cannot keep what you don't give. And you cannot sustain what you don't receive. And so for us to do great things in the world and for our family, like even from, like for me, the way that I've supported my son navigating significant health challenges, which required us to do very unconventional things, functional medicine, specialists from overseas, alternative therapies and healings, all that big journey, it requires money. And so it's like, from that to investing in our career and our business and in ourselves, in our health, it requires money. And we can't sustain all these projects, all these things, if we don't know how to receive. And this is one of the trickiest things for women, especially where we're living in the masculine world of do, is that we got to learn how to lean back. This is a feminine, open ourselves up to receiving support, but also receiving money and asking and just stretching ourselves, giving ourselves permission to stretch into a possibility where we get to have these amazing jobs and do great things in the world, have meaning and purpose in our lives, and get paid a hell of a lot of money for it. And the reason why is, again, I'm all for normalizing big money in the hands of big-hearted women, because I believe it's what will create this shift of goodness and change in the world. And I'm not alone in that. Like, I have sponsored so many charities. I'm all for, it's not like only because you have money can you do good in the world. No, I've volunteered in Africa and Tiwi Islands. I've volunteered in Bolivia and where else? Nepal. I've volunteered. I run things by donation. Most of my meditation classes in Melbourne were all by donation. It's like there's a lot of joy in doing things for free. However, if we're talking about big missions and a big vision, you cannot sustain what you don't receive. And money is an essential element in us actually taking care of ourselves, feeling good, being out of stress and struggle, so we're creative and innovation and have the capacity to create good in the world, even for our family, even for ourselves. And so when I've sponsored different organizations, one in particular that I really resonated with, that has lit me up, was Care Australia. And many years ago, when I checked them out initially, their tagline is supporting women, defeating poverty. And they're an organization that only sponsor women and women-led programs and projects. And the reason is, and I'm not sure if it's still on the website, but when I first researched them years ago, it was like, when you support one woman, she will bring another 6 with her. And that is true. Okay. And it's why I love women supporting women. And it's why I truly believe we've got to normalize big money in your hands. And the flip side of this, of course, one of the things that does trip us up as big-hearted women is that sometimes we can self-sacrifice and jeopardize our own health, our own well-being, our own good, and get in the trenches and put you over my shoulder and drag you up with me. And instead, it's about rising together. Let me pour love into myself first. When I empower myself, I get to empower others. What is good for me is good for you. Let me be here and be an inspiration. Let me cheer you on. Let us support each other and stretch each other, and let's go to the next level together. Is very different than, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to put you on my back and drag you along, because the risk then is that we both get consumed in the struggle. And this is really important, because I'm a healer for healers. I do support a lot of therapists and doctors and, like people who love to help others. And often they spend a lot of time doing administration work and non-billable tasks and find it really hard and feel guilty to raise their prices, but yet they can't actually pay their indemnity fees, or like they're just getting a basic salary after all these years and years of investment. And it's like, wow, women, we're getting paid a lot less than men. And part of it is just this, how do we actually meet our internals, this inner dialogue, but this inner sense of like guilt and shame and like, oh my God, what if I get rejected? Oh my gosh, what if? And that knowing actually our emotional nature and I speak a lot about this, especially in my Bliss Sisterhood, it will fuel us. Like it is stronger than the conscious mind. You can say that it's okay for me to have money, but if you feel wrong within yourself in having money, you won't have money, because our emotional nature wins for better or worse. And so this is why we get to do deeper work when it comes to money. And so exploring that money, when we make money mean everything, what I mean by that is actually it gets to fuel me. It gets to be supportive of my freedom, supportive of love in my life, supportive of adventure and fun and joy. Happiness is when we get what we want. Joy is when we give to another and make them happy. Right? And so we get to see how money fits in that. And I truly believe it is an essential ingredient. It's a currency. It's a gift from the divine. It is there. We get to learn to receive it so that it fuels our dreams, our family's life, my life, our well-being, and also support us to do great things in the world. And we also, this is the paradox, we don't want it to become everything. The moment that it becomes everything is the moment that we suffer. As soon as we become attached to it, which is like, I will feel safe when, I will feel happy when, I'll only feel successful when I get this certain amount of money or a new home or that new edition of the iPhone or a car, or, then we lose ourselves. We're gone. We're consumed in the flip side of money. And this is where it gets to be nothing, recognizing that actually what is your source of abundance is this deep, personal, intimate relationship with something bigger, your truth and power. This is why money is so spiritual and that we come up face to face with our attachments to money. Anything that we're attached to is going to create suffering. We can get it and then we have a fear of, holy smokes, are we going to lose it? Yeah. And so for me, I've been in this classroom where I thought when I got my first home in Clifton Hill, oh my God, I'm going to feel so safe and secure. I can't wait till I have my new home. And then, oh my gosh, then I'll finally feel safe, successful, secure. But guess what happened? The first 4 months, I couldn't sleep at night. I just worried. How the hell am I going to pay this? What if I lose it? What if something happens to me? I'm like the main breadwinner. If I'm pregnant, I was pregnant with my second child, Remy. I was like, oh my gosh. And I couldn't sleep. And it was this most beautiful, rich classroom. This is where you get to live, have lived experience, cultivate wisdom around money. It means nothing, because actually the source of security is within me. And until I realize that, nothing that I have is going to give that to me. It's not in a job. It's not in the savings. It's not. There's so many rich, wealthy people out there who probably have drug and alcohol issues because they don't actually feel safe or they're worried about losing it. That is not unimaginable wealth. That is not feeling good on the inside. That's not what we're here for. And so to me, like recognizing that paradox is the guiding light. It is so essential because we're here to feel good and enjoy life and to really be this beautiful channel of grace in our families' lives and have a big impact in the world and, be on the vanguard of change in our industry and also in the world. And money plays a part in that. And I'm so excited because coming up in May in our Bliss Sisterhood, so as a part of our Bliss Sisterhood, every single day I jump in and I do daily coaching. And I must say, this is just as much for me as everyone. It's medicine because we're looking at the particular theme. So in April, it's been authentically aligned April. And May, we're doing Money Magnet May. And we'll be looking at every day different elements when it comes to mindset and just like walking each other home, rising together and really shifting how we view money and how we can embrace it and receive it more in our life and in a way that feels really good. And as a part of our Bliss Sisterhood, every single month we have a monthly live transformative session. If you can't attend live, you get the recording. And we're going to do some really deep consciousness, felt sense, healing work around money because we can talk about it up here. But actually, for it to really land in here, we need to go about things in a more experiential level. And this is where I love to sort of combine science and spirituality. Spirituality meaning going beyond the mind, tapping into something bigger than the mind, and also that experience process where we walk away, ooh, feeling changed forever. Like where there was something, there's now nothing. I feel lighter. I feel liberated. There's a sense of reclamation of power that comes from you calling it back from lack of scarcity and changing the narrative, changing how you feel, and really embracing money in a different way in life. And so I'm really excited about that. I invite you to come and join. As a part of it, we will be doing that Money is Spiritual AF, and I'm really excited about it. Even if you're like, I'm not sure I'm really that spiritual, come and check it out, because it will, in my experience, like I went from a position where I couldn't even say God without judgment and criticism, like the G word. Okay. This is back as a junior medical doctor. And here I am as a spiritual mentor. I tell you, expect the unexpected, and so much joy that comes with this. And, you know, what you recognize is that just based on our culture, there are themes around judgments and religious themes and undertones and notes that actually impact us on a subconscious level. You're not aware of, or you're not aware of it. And so I really invite you to lean in. If you've got any curiosity, if you feel a little zing with it, come and check it out. And if you're interested in joining us for our Money Magnet May, which you should do because it's going to be amazing, it's going to be the medicine that you need, then check out the link in the bio. And otherwise, I just hope that this is the first of many conversations that we'll be having. And we're here together. Let's normalize big money in the hands of big-hearted women, because far out the world needs it, and we can do so much good in the world for us, for our family, for our friends, our community, and beyond. Sending you so much love. Bye-bye. It has been so beautiful spending this time with you. If you found today's episode inspiring or helpful, please subscribe, give us a good review, and share the love. I invite you to be a part of the Bliss movement. Join our Bliss Sisterhood or apply to join my Expanding Bliss program. The links are in my bio, and I cannot wait to be doing live with you soon. Stay tuned for the next episode, where I'll be sharing more training, stories, strategies, and solutions to guide you towards your bliss.